Nation, and welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. I have my panel of esteemed guests with me, and as you can see, pieces change every now and again, and they have changed to some really great people. So, first up, I have Mr. Damon Simeons. He is the owner and the wide receiver of the Houston Hyenas. How are you doing?
I'm great. What's up, SFL Nation? Damon Simeons, a.k.a. Dr. Sim, a.k.a. the head ball coach. Stole that from Steve Sperry.
A.k.a. Hall of Famer. I thought he was going to go there too, but I guess not.
Oh, I am a Hall of Famer, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Last time I checked. Crazy. And then I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Aaron Alexander, fullback of Fort Worth Toros. How are you doing?
Well, considering I just woke up, I'm doing okay.
Oh, nice and rested, refreshed. I like it. And I got Mr. Green Bay over here. And also a really, really good friend of mine, Mr. Bo Martin Jr.
That's right. It is a glorious, I'll say it for you, glorious day of the cornerback for the last week, at least winning Lone Star Glory. Represent.
I mean,
what a glorious evening.
Yeah, you got to celebrate when you can, man.
Hey, you doggone right you do. That's why I got my Milwaukee Bucks hat right there, just in case y'all forgot. Represent world champs,
Actually, I don't have a problem with the Bucks. The Bucks are actually cool.
I'm glad you like us.
Yeah, it's just the other team.
We kind of a big deal right now.
The other team you go for is questionable at best.
Ain't gonna be no question who win that Central Division. We can talk about it then.
We will. And lastly, Mr. Everything AZ, coach, owner, cheerleader, social media, everything. Mr. Eddie Gage, how you doing?
I won't claim cheerleader though. You can.
Where your pom poms, Eddie?
Come on. You could have said Hall of Fame, strong safety, all-time leader interception, all-around ball player, great defensive-minded coach,
cheerleader.
But nobody represent AZ
Eddie.
more than you do. You represent AZ more than I do.
Eddie, when you score your first pick six, you got to do the pom-pom dance like T.O. did. You got to.
And you know what? And you know what? That's a bet. When I get it, I got you.
No, he know how I feel about that Mike All jersey, that Jacksonville jersey he got on right now. I'm like, you gonna...
I wore this because he's supposed to have been here today.
Right.
He let you down to the last minute, so I had to rep on.
Eyebrow?
The Rock.
You gotta do that.
People's eyebrow.
But yes, thank you all for being on the show. I really appreciate all of y'all for being on. And yes, Mike All was supposed to be on, as well as a couple other people, but they said they will make it on next week. So I'm looking forward to that too. As well as you guys, please come back if you can. I'd love to have you. All right. So tonight's show will include our week 10 review and picks for week 11. Picks for week 11 will be a part of my SFL chat around the water cooler segment. And that will also include who my panelists thinks should be Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. Basically, if the SFL Honors was tomorrow, based on the performances that we've seen so far from all teams, who would be winning these awards. So this should be very interesting, all right? First up, we have some phenomenal games that happened over the weekend, as we often do, but it seems the closer we get to the playoffs, people take the gloves off and you really see what they're working with. Now, last week I chose Baltimore, Florida, Mexico, LA, DC, Atlanta, Vancouver, Queen City, LSG, Las Vegas, AZ, and Portland to win their games. So let's see. Did I get them all right? Let's check them out. So So the London Knights took on the Florida Storm, and Florida won 27-13. The Knights had 233 yards passing, 111 yards rushing for 344 yards total. Their time of possession was 24 minutes and 26 seconds with 0 mistakes. Florida had 304 yards passing, 48 yards rushing for 352 yards. Their time of possession was 19 minutes, 34 seconds with 1 turnover. Player of the game was quarterback Ron Cochran with 29 completions of 41 attempts, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 98.0. So, gentlemen, what do you think about this game? And was I right about this game? Yes, I was. But, gentlemen, what did you think about this?
I think London surprised the hell out of both Florida and the entire SFL world when they decided to come out and run the ball. And in fact, remember Mike St. Green was on the last podcast, and I told him he needed to tell his coaching staff he need to run the ball because Florida give him that. I don't know if he gave him that memo or not, but someone's paying attention over there because this game was close for a long time before Florida finally ran away with it late. But it was almost the upset of the century right there.
Yeah, that was a great strategy by whoever decided to run. And what do you know? All of a sudden, London has a running back. Like we haven't seen Robert Merrill since season 15, man. It's like he disappeared the entire season 16, and he was gone pretty much up until this week in this particular game. And I guess London figured, at this point, they having lost 4 out of their last 5, they didn't have anything to lose. So they gave it a shot, and hopefully they discover something, because Robert Merrill still is, and he's a viable option at running back. And I've been kind of campaigning for them to use him more than they have been. So I'm really glad they put him to work, and hopefully they figured something out, because that's going to go a long way against alleviating some of the pressure that Johnny Pickler is under a lot of times. Because when Johnny Pickler's going to throw, that's why he gets so many picks, because everybody in the SFL knows all they're going to do is throw the ball. But when you get Robert Merrill involved, that changes the game, and hopefully it frees up Johnny Pickler a little bit.
Good stuff.
I'll piggyback off of Bo. The great Kobe Bryant, once said, you can't win championship with one style of play, and especially in the game of football. No matter how much you love to pass the ball, you have to run the rock, and looking at stats here, Robert Merrill had 24 carries for 111 yards. 100 yards is hard to come by in the SFL on the settings that we play on now. On All Pro, it was easy. Someone can rack up over 100 yards in the first half, but now it takes an entire game to break that 100-yard mark. And also here, the game was, as you stated, was pretty close. Even at the half, it was 10-10. But then Florida ran away with it in the second half with 17 points, and London only scored 3. But, basically they couldn't move the ball really in that second half. And Florida just made the key adjustments that they needed to make to come away with that victory. But as we all saw, we know that Pickler can sling it. He can throw it with the best of them, but also averaging 5 INTs a game is not going to get you into the dance.
No, it wasn't.
Definitely a refreshing change of pace to see London start running the ball, considering the game prior it was air raid the whole time. Pickler had almost 500 yards of passing the week prior. So to have them come out and actually start using Robert Merrill as an actual running back and more just a receiver option out of the backfield, especially from a broadcasting point of view, was very
broadcasted this game, didn't you?
Yep, I sure did.
Gotcha. Good stuff. The Baltimore Vultures took on the Carolina Skyhawks, and Baltimore won 40-28. The Vultures had 444 yards passing, 66 yards rushing for 510 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes and 7 seconds with no mistakes. Carolina had 377 yards passing, 48 yards rushing for 425 yards total. Their time of possession was 23 minutes and 55 seconds with only 1 mistake. Matt Chima was your player of the game with 7 receptions, 229 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he averaged 32.7 yards per catch. This was an amazing game to watch. For a minute, I thought that Carolina was going to win this game, but then Baltimore kind of turned on. They did what they do best, and they picked it up in the fourth quarter. And I think that's how, it was all she wrote.
It's so easy to forget that this is only Jack Wigmore's third season in the league. He's come so far, and he didn't, not even third, he hasn't even technically, because he didn't start until like week 6, I think, of season 15. So, or somewhere later on, he was late in his start, but he is one of the best at slinging the rock, and to be so young in his SFL career is really amazing. I mean, he was able to throw the ball 444 yards without any interceptions. Okay, and that's huge. When you pass that much and you have a 66% completion rate, that's huge. And he was sacked 3 times, but what that shows me is that even with all of those 33 attempts, he was making good decisions with the ball. And so kudos to Jack Wigmore. I tell you, Baltimore's going to be tough to stop. I mean, I know other people have other stuff to say, so I'll be quiet on that, but Baltimore is going to be tough to stop. I don't want to play them, and I'm hoping somebody else beats them before we have to even try.
That's fair. That's very fair. And I think a key to Jack Wigmore's success has been his receiving core, especially Ivory Irvin, Mac Chima, who you could argue may have a maybe in the conversation for that offensive player of the year, just because that's just the team that Baltimore has been. Of course, the rookie Jimmy Hazard has been involved on the offense as well, whether passing or running the ball. T-Roy Gaines in his new fullback position continues to be involved in that offense. Baltimore, even if they end up getting beaten, it's going to be a slugfest in order to give them their first loss this season.
Yeah, I mean, Bo spoke on just about everything I was going to talk about. I mean, the 66.6 passing completion percentage, that's just outstanding. 22 out of 33 out of 22. I mean, what can you say about Wigmore in this offense, man? Who throws for 444 yards and not throw a pick? I mean, that's unheard of in this league. If someone throws over 300 yards, there's guaranteed to at least be one pick thrown in that game. I mean, the offense is just outstanding, man. They got everyone involved. Ivory had over 7 receptions for 107 yards. Jimmy Hazard, 4 receptions as well for 59 yards receiving. And he also had 51 on the ground, Mac Chima, 229 yards receiving.
That's normal. That's normal for Mac Chima.
Ashley, you remember the last time when Mac Chima and Baltimore played us, right?
Yeah, you still dreaming about that, bro.
I still have nightmares. I still have nightmares about Mac Chima. And so he did the same. And matter of fact, I'm going to look back, because if I remember, I think he had 229 exactly against us. And I think that's what it was. Or if not, it was something close. But I tell you, Mac Chima, for him to be the number 2 is absolutely incredible. I don't know if there's a better number 2 receiver in the SFL.
Nah, they can't be.
Good point. Eddie, you got something to add to that?
Just the fact that Baltimore's point differential, I don't know where it ranks all time, but it has to be up there, because they blowing folks out every week. It's not even close, most of these games.
And they're not even winning time of possession. They only had the ball 19 minutes. Carolina had it 23, 4 minutes more, than. Well, actually, you can save 5 minutes more, because Carolina had it 23.55. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man, how this team can put up points so fast. They put up 20 points in the fourth quarter alone. That is just amazing, man, how they're just so high power. As Bo said, man, it's going to be hard to stop this team. And really, I don't see anyone coming close to stopping these guys. Only team that I can say probably could scratch it would be Florida, but other than that, I really don't see anyone stopping this offense.
It is definitely going to be very interesting in the next few weeks, to say the least.
I'll take that back. I'll put Florida and Arizona up there, because Arizona really has been doing their thing as of lately on the defensive side of the ball. I am really, I'm not going to say surprised That's what I wanted to say. I am really, really impressed and the way how Arizona has turned their defense around compared to last season. The amount of points that Arizona gave up to what they're doing now this season. Kudos to that. But we'll get to Arizona later on down the line. But I think those two teams will be the ones that I feel that may have a shot to stopping this Baltimore offense.
All right, gotcha. Next up, we had the Jacksonville Kings taking on the DC Dragons. A fantastic game to watch. Jacksonville pulled out the win, 40-38. The Kings had 328 yards passing, 107 yards rushing, for 434 yards total. Their time possession was 21 minutes and 32 seconds with only one mistake. DC had 279 yards passing, 129 yards rushing for 408 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes, 58 seconds with 3 mistakes. Player of the game was Jared Willis with the 17 attempts, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 47 reception yards, and 2 reception touchdowns. So, man, this was a great game to watch. My heart goes out to the DC Dragons because unlike the kicker from that Baltimore game that made his 66 yards, their field goal was just shy of putting them over the top. And I can only imagine the heartbreak. I mean, we lost games like that for Arizona, so I already know. You know, it was heartbreak central for them, but that was a definitely good game to watch.
Yeah, I definitely feel for this DC team. Just looking back, just at this season alone, the only losses that have been more than 7 points were in week 4 against Mexico City, and then the loss to Portland. Every other loss that they've had, including to teams like Baltimore, like Queen City, like Atlanta, have been 7 points or less. You've got to feel for this DC team. They're clearly a good team, but for whatever reason, they're just not able to piece wins together.
Yeah, you're right, Aaron. DC has been just staggered all season long with close losses, and you have to feel sorry for the team and the organization, and for losing so many games that are just so close to winning. I mean, this game went back and forth, man, and DC put up 21 points in the first quarter. I mean, they jumped out big. So that lets you know there that the defense slacked in the second and third quarter because Jacksonville jumped up 26 points in those 2 quarters alone, but yeah, I mean, the time of possession was neck and neck. The total of yards was pretty much close together, 435 for the Kings and 408 for the Dragons. Excuse me. But yeah, man, this was just a heartbreaking loss for DC once again that we've seen constantly throughout the season. But they're a young team, and the crazy thing about it is that they're young, but they're still in games, So once if they can get everyone to return next season, continue to build on their roster, their players. I mean, that's the thing about the SFL. There's not a lot of faithful and loyal people to stay with a team and see that team grow. I don't think anybody has a more loyal following than Lone Star.
Frank was playing chess when everybody else was playing checkers. He was thinking long term, beyond just this season, and he drafted a bunch of offensive linemen because he knew they're hard to come by, and yeah, so he scooped them up. I mean, he knew it would probably be a price to pay this season, but going down the road when everyone else is seeking out offensive linemen, he's already got 4 of them, and he's trying to build, for the long haul. So kudos to Frank, man, and he's doing his thing over there.
Absolutely. The Atlanta Swarm took on the Tulsa Desperados at Greenwood District Stadium. Oh, was I right about that last game?
I wasn't.
I wasn't either. I actually chose DC to win. If we would have made that field goal, that would have been right, but whatever.
They should have. They was in position to hit that field goal and took 2 straight sacks. That was terrible.
I know, right? But the Atlanta Swarm took on the Tulsa Desperados, and Atlanta won in a big way, 48-3. Tulsa had 151 yards passing, 35 yards rushing for 186 yards total. Their time of possession was 15 minutes, 33 seconds with 2 mistakes. Atlanta had 379 yards passing, 90 yards rushing, 469 yards total. Their time of possession was 27 minutes and 32 seconds with no mistakes. Player of the game was BDG Hollywood with 20 attempts, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, 129 reception yards, and 129 reception yards and 1 reception touchdown. Wow, I couldn't read. Another person that I think could have gotten player of the game was the quarterback, Bryant Dynasty. Hold on, let me pull this up really quickly. Bryant Dynasty, 30 for 33. He had his completion percentage is 90.91. He had 358 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So when you guys were talking about Jack Wigmore and his performance, you got somebody else that, I mean, come on, man, 90% accurate?
Dude,
I ain't seen that. Hell, I don't think ever.
I bet.
Hold on now. You had 90% when we played Florida back in season, I think it was 16, no, 15.
Oh, so way back.
It wasn't
way
14.
back.
I think they won 14.
No, I'm sorry, not Florida, Jacksonville. My bad.
But you know what I gotta say though, as impressive as that is though for Atlanta, I think this is more about the other team and how Tulsa is, in my opinion, and forgive me, I'm gonna be a little harsh here. In my opinion, one of the biggest disappointments of the season in the SFL. So much was expected of them when this season started. Like they were deemed a playoff caliber team when this season started. They've got the tools, you know. When you look at their roster, you know, they've got Gabriel Manning, they've got Sanzo Robinson, excuse me, they've got Jason France, you know, they've got players at positions, right? And I understand that JQ is still relatively new, but they've got good players on offense and defense as well. And in my opinion, hands down, with maybe save one other team that will remain nameless for the time being, they have to be the biggest disappointment of the season. So I know Atlanta's was a hard task anyways, right? So I'm not taking anything away from Atlanta and their skills, because that would have been a tough matchup for anybody. But it just seemed like Tulsa I don't know. I'm not sure if there's something. I said it before, I'll say it again. Something's going on in Tulsa. Maybe we don't know about it. Maybe we'll never find out about it. But I'm telling you first, something's going on in Tulsa.
Yeah, and part of it is something that both me and Demond alluded to the last time both of us were on the podcast. Tulsa, as far as on the field, doesn't have a sense of identity, either defensively or offensively. Like, if you were to give me a strength of either Tulsa's offense or defense, in just the most basic sense, where do you go?
Good question.
Because for me, you're absolutely right. They have the pieces they need to be a good team, but for one reason or another, they just seem... And I don't even want to use the term underutilized, because Sanzo Robinson and Gabriel, man, lost would definitely be a better word there, because this game, Atlanta was just able to do whatever they wanted, both offensively and defensively.
I mean, I'm like Bo. You know, this team is a disappointment because so many people had them on their radar to be a playoff team. A lot of people thought this team was going to run, you know, come the start of the season, and they basically just been crawling. Does you know, this is going to be harsh to say, Does the organization care? Does the coordinators care about what's going on? There's no reason why Gabriel Manning should only have 35 yards receiving on 6 receptions. We just saw Mac Chima had 7 receptions for 229 yards. And Gabriel Manning has every freaking animation known to a wide receiver. He has everything. And this guy can't even get 40 yards receiving in a game. You know, I mean, this is just, I mean, there's no excuse for JQ being a new quarterback, because we've seen what other quarterbacks are doing, you know, that are rookies. And JQ was one of the highest rookies. I mean, had one of the highest ratings of the quarterbacks coming out of the draft last season, you know, compared to, you know, a few others. But this is just, I mean, I really don't know exactly what to say about this team. You know, I mean, your free safety lead the team in tackles, and then your second lead in tackle is your cornerback. You know, so I mean, why aren't your linebackers leading the team in tackles? Those are supposed to be the guys who are leading this team in tackle. That means that the running back is probably getting to the third level on just about every run he's running. I didn't even see what BDG had. He only had 60 yards on 20 attempts. But Brian Dynasty, I mean, 90.9 passing percentage. I want to know what that QBR was. It has to be max at 154.
It wasn't that high. I believe officially it was somewhere in like the 140s.
Oh, he was robbed. Or maybe it was the 3 incompletions.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was perfect. Oh man.
Yeah. Because that game. Yeah, me and Ramos were talking about how shocking it was that Dynasty didn't have a perfect QBR, considering just how, again, Atlanta was able to do whatever they wanted, whether it was hand the ball off to BG Hollywood or air the ball out with Brian Dynasty.
Right.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It is. Hey, that's SFL.
That's that all pro football. But, all right, Mexico City Aztecs took on the Fort Worth Toros. Oh, I know, Aaron. I know, man. I know. And Mexico won 28-10. Was I right about this game? I believe so. The Aztecs had 236 passing yards for 125 rushing yards for 361 yards total. Their time of possession was 25 minutes and 5 seconds with 2 mistakes. Fort Worth had 128 yards passing, 90 yards rushing for 218 yards total. Their time of possession was 18 minutes and 55 seconds with only 2 mistakes. Player of the game was halfback Phoenix Jones with 27 attempts, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, 26 reception yards. So, Aaron, please tell me what happened with this game.
Phoenix Jones happened.
Yeah.
We in Sims a week, we've really been struggling to really contain Phoenix Jones, and
you ain't the only one.
It's I think a part of that ended up being to our detriment, of course, the coaching change. We're still kind of struggling offensively, I think, with our new offensive staff here in Fort Worth, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel for us, but even for us to make playoffs this season, it's going to take a miracle.
Yeah, Fort Worth, I had winning the division. Although I'm in the division, trust me, I wanted to win the division, but Fort Worth finished the season so strong last season with that. I had them up there pretty high in reference to winning the South Division, and it's saddening to see them take this down spiral that they have taken this season, because I still want the South to reign as the toughest division in the SFL. You know, last season was fun, when everyone was winning games and beating up on each other or whatever. That was hilarious, dude. You know, so I mean, looking at me, I'm a third down guy. Fort Worth didn't do too good on third down. Only 30%, 3 out of 10. That's not good. And also, I was looking back. Well, I'm looking at first downs. You only have 12 first downs the entire game. You gave up 21. And you're right, Aaron. Phoenix Jones is a beast, dude. I mean, that is a monster. It should be illegal for him and Ray Bentley to be on the same team. Just my thought. Just my thought, man. And although Ray only had 12 yards rushing, but I'm pretty sure that those was crucial 12 yards. It could have been for some of those first downs that they got because they had 21. And Matt Wilson, he's going to give you a few picks. He's known for dropping you a few picks. And you guys got 2 of them. Last week versus Houston, he didn't throw any when we faced him. But they beat us up on the ground, and we added the bear, and they still got past us. But man, Mexico City is rolling. What, they on a 5-game winning streak now or so?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this team is rolling. This team is hot as well. They're always up there making the playoffs, never out of the picture. I wish Cam would put them in a different division, get them away from me, because our games always come to the last minute. It always come to the last minute or so. But looking at these guys, man, their defense,
yes.
Their defense, I mean, their linebackers led this team in tackles. KT Horrell, 8. Ronnie Watson, 7. Then Ben Charbs had 7 tackles as well. I mean, this is just great defense by the linebackers there, leading this team in tackles or so. But I feel that Fort Worth's going to bounce back next season. I think they're going to regroup, get themselves together. And that's basically all I have to say on that. I don't want to take up too much time.
Well, I just wanted to piggyback on what you were saying, DR, because they were actually the Mexico City defense was actually able to hold Williams to a meager 87 yards, 22 carries for 87 yards. Now, granted, he did get 2 touchdowns, but we all know how capable Jason Williams is of breaking through for 150, 200 yard, 200 plus yard game.
Yeah.
And so to hold Jason Williams to 87 yards, and then Stephen Hacker did a disappearing act. How's your number 1 receiver only have 1 reception for 14 yards? Their defense. So give that Mexico City defense some credit. I mean, of course, everybody knows Fort Worth leans on their tight ends probably harder than any other team in the SFL. So Robert Garrett Jr. had 5 receptions for 53, and Lauren Percoco had 4 for 38. But it really is a testament to Mexico's defense. And I know they don't get talked about a lot. Nobody really mentions much about Mexico's defense unless you're talking about Jeffrey Daggs or KT Horrell or Dan Tritz. But they actually did a really good job of shutting down Williams and the rest of that offense.
Good points.
Absolutely. Yeah, their defense is always up there. Bo, as you just stated, man, and I'm trying to pull it up now what their defensive stats are for the season. I know they're in the top 5 because they're always in the top 5 or so. I think I have too many windows open. It's gonna move a little slow. Ashley, we can go on to the next one if you like.
I was trying to see, hey, Coach, did you want to say something, or are you just chilling?
No, I was just saying that it's not really like Phoenix really dominated the game, but they did just enough to like get first downs, kind of like what we did with Sioux Falls this past weekend. I mean, they got just enough yards on 3rd and short to convert, and they kept Fort Worth offense off the field. And man, it was just one of those typical Mexico City offenses in which they just dominate time possession with the run game and the short passing game. And then when you try to get greedy and take the short passing game away, the ball going over your head. So you got to figure out what you wouldn't give or take away. And man, I'm telling you, I said it a million times, but Ramos he's one of the better offensive coordinators in this league because he makes you defend the entire field.
Yeah, this defense is ranked number 3 in the entire SFL. They only give up 20.5 points per game. Arizona is 1. Queen City is 2. I mean, their net points 101. I mean, that's outstanding. They only give up 246 yards a game and passing, only 70.9 yards rushing. Come on, dude. You know, I mean, this team is just stacked on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be hard to put up points versus this team. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be hard to put up points because you can put points on them, but winning the ball game is going to be the hardest part because they're going to fight you to the end.
Trust me.
One thing they're going to fight you to the end.
You must have been watching our Sims. All right, so
I played him a few weeks ago, and I have him week 12 again. So,
Louisiana Revolution took on the Los Angeles Vikings, and Los Angeles won 14-7. Was I right about this game? Yes, I was. Louisiana had 110 yards passing for 84 yards rushing, 194 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes, 44 seconds with 4 mistakes. LA had 166 yards passing, 109 yards rushing, 275 yards total. Their time of possession was 23 minutes and 45 seconds with 2 mistakes. Player of the game was halfback, Robert Johnson with 24 attempts, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 16 reception yards. And this was actually a very interesting game to watch. I did say that LA was going to win this game, partially because they were at home, and partially because I think Louisiana, you know, with Brian Craven and crew getting acclimated with that team build over there, I figured that they were probably going to run into maybe a few issues with LA, and looks like they did. They had 4 turnovers, which I think was one of the reasons that they lost this game. Being held to 84 yards rushing too may have something to do with that as well. Anybody, any thoughts?
Less than 200 yards of total offense and 4 turnovers is a recipe for an L. And man, credit to LA. They did their homework and they took away everything that Louisiana likes to do offensively and dominated that game with their defense and did just enough on offense to come away with that win. Kudos to LA. I was talking to their coaches earlier in the week and they were in the lab early getting ready for that game. So shout out to LA coaches.
Yeah, because Louisiana came into this game pretty hot on a nice little win streak. I think it was 2-game win streak they were on, 2 or 3. I mean, anytime you can hold a quarterback, man, to 110 yards passing for 4 quarters of football,
and 4 turnovers.
Your defense is doing something. I mean, dude was straight up 50%, threw the ball 30 times, only completed 15 completions. You know, I mean, that's you're not going to win many ball games on those type of statistics or so forth. Reggie Streeter, 19 carries for 78. I can remember, man, I've seen Reggie Streeter have 19 carries and over 250 yards rushing, So as Ed stated, LA must have went, to the drawing board and basically took care of business. As we can see from the score, you held Louisiana to 7 points as a team that has been red hot over the past few weeks. Kudos to Los Angeles, man, because they came out balling on the defensive side of the ball here. Looking at these Rochelle Colston led the team in tackles,
That's the safety.
Sometimes it be that way, right? But I guess that I don't know if she was hitting many of the receivers. It must have been Reggie Streeter she's been hitting, because I don't see these receivers doing too much.
No. In fact, that's what I was going to say, Demond. When I looked at these numbers, first of all, the leading receiver was Reggie Streeter, and he only had 43 yards. Mm-hmm. But when you look at these other receivers, I mean, it was Mike Twinscrew, 2 receptions, 18 yards. Tight end B Robo, 2 receptions, 11 yards. Yep. Chase Earl, 2 receptions, 8 yards. Where was the pass game? And I get the fact that Tommy Utah is a rookie and he's still coming into his own. I get that. Is this, I ask myself, is this Louisiana getting exposed, or are the Lycans just that good? Because 4 interceptions, And to hold the leading receiver to 43 yards, and none of your wide receivers had more than 20 yards receiving or more than 18 yards receiving. That's unheard of in the SFL. And so I wonder, does this say more about Louisiana than it does about, LA or vice versa? Because something LA did just they must have a really good scout for Louisiana. I don't know, but something happened. Reggie Streeter, 19 carries for 78 yards. They held everybody. Usually if you hold a run game, the pass game goes off, or vice versa.
Right.
LA held everybody. I don't know how they did that.
That's extremely hard to do when you can just shut a team completely down like this. I mean, I'm still flabbergasted over their passing yards of 110.
27 yards per quarter, 27 and a half exact, but per quarter. So imagine that. You're only throwing less than 30 yards a quarter is what that averages out to.
As an owner, a player, that had to be horrible to watch.
I could definitely speak from experience, though. A part of that is definitely credit to the Lycans defense. That defense is frightening.
Yeah, it is. It is. Their defense. We played them. I think it was week 4. We won a 3-game winning streak coming into the season. And man, what is that? A snowball?
An hourglass.
Oh.
What you trying to say? We talking too much?
He know.
All right,
she's trying to shut you down, Demond.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, Aaron is correct. Their defense is the bomb.com. I mean, they only give up 20.9 points a game, and guess what? They points against is going to drop even lower now because they only gave up 7 last week. I mean, they're ranked 4th. And I mean, it's hard to be in that top 5, but when you can do it, you're doing something right. Go ahead, Ashley.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Dang it, Demond. The Charleston Predators took on the Queen City Corsairs, and Queen City won 38-6. Charleston had 243 yards passing, 64 yards rushing for 305 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes, 44 seconds with 3 mistakes. Queen City had 233 yards passing, 140 yards rushing for 373 yards total. Their time of possession was 24 minutes, 16 seconds with no mistakes. Player of the game was halfback Jack Zero with 22 attempts, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 24 reception yards. So it looks like Queen City had the better rushing game, definitely, and won in the time of possessions, which, Bo, I think you... was it you or was it Demond that was mentioning? No, that was Demond. That time of possession was very important, and that you'd rather do well on your third down conversions and your time of possession. Can you tell me why?
Well, it goes back to, I think it was season 15 heading into the playoffs. We were facing Jacksonville in the wild card round in the playoffs, and it shocked me that Jacksonville was winning. I mean, their third down percentage for the season was 65% on third down. When I saw that, my eyes lit up, and I said, this is why this team is winning games, because they're not coming off the field. Houston, on the other hand, season 15, we were coming off the field a lot on third downs. I think our average on third down was like 40-something%. And I said, in order for us to win this game, we have to at least average 66% on third down. When that game was over with, I went back and looked at the stats. Well, we lost that game. We lost about 3 points in overtime. When that game was over, when I went back and looked at the stats, and the first thing I went and looked for was third down percentage. We lost third down percentage 64 to 63%. I mean, I actually altered my playbook so that to plays to make sure that we can convert on third down. I mean, third down is a very, very key down, in the game of football. I mean, it's the difference between your drive continuing or you punting the ball back to the other team and you coming off the field.
Good point. That is a very good point.
Yeah. I just was looking at the Queen City Corsairs stats, And I got to say, first of all, Queen City reminds me of the old San Antonio Spurs. Like, they're not flashy. You know, nobody really gives them any props, but they're just chugging right along, and they're dominating, and they don't really get a lot of press. You know, you don't see them in Gen Chat making noise. You know, you very seldomly hear from them, but I mean, they are dominating in their division and possibly even one of the top contenders to come out of the SFL this year. And I looked at AJ Caswell. We were talking about completion percentage. He had 2 incompletions the entire game. 2. He had a 92% completion rating. And I'm looking, I see Jet Zero. Yeah, he had 22 rushes for 117. He got MVP of that game. But if you ask me, that should have went to AJ Caswell. You know, it could have went either way, but I feel like that should have went to AJ Caswell. He had a phenomenal game. You know, he took care of the football, 2 incompletions, and I like how he spread the football out to his receivers. You know, like I said, quiet is kept. Look out for Queen City. They are the San Antonio Spurs of the SFL.
How many touchdowns did he have by chance? AJ? 2? Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
So Aaron and Eddie, did y'all want to add to this?
Just that Queen City, one thing I like about their offense, a lot of teams in the SFL run out of base formation. Queen City has a number of plays in which they run, in which they spread you out. And with Jet Zero being a power back, now you find yourself, if he get to that second level, it's a wrap. It's off to the races because he's gonna run you. He's gonna put his helmet in your chest, run you over, and now it's a house call. So man, that offense, I like the way they did it with him because most power backs they run, you know, out of a base set, but they tend to spread you out and run the ball right up the middle. And like I say, if his old linemen get to those linebackers and now he's up against the secondary, goodbye.
Yeah, anytime you have a man of 5 that stands as a stature of 5'11", 230 pounds, and is maxed out in break tackle, you know, that's asking for a disaster for the defensive side of the ball, man. I mean, he gave us nightmares all week long, and in the game, you know. I added the bear in our defense that game as well because there's a power back. I'm trying to stuff the run, you know, and just stop it. But although we had 5 people on the defensive line, he still broke through several times, you know. There was some times we did stop him, but man, he broke through and took care of his business. But yeah, this is a just absolutely beast of a running back, and I think Bo hit it right on the nail. They are the San Antonio Spurs of the 2000s of the SFL. I mean, they're not a flashy offense. They keep it quiet, but guess what? They win. They're winning ball games. You know, no one thought this team was going to come out this season and be this good. You know, we all thought they were going to be at the bottom of the poll as they were the past few seasons or so, you know, and everybody was just going to beat up on them and make a way marching into the playoffs. But no, this team is really making some noise.
And keep in mind too, Damon, they had to replace a pretty good chunk of their roster as well.
Yes.
What did they replace? 5 or 6 players this season?
Yeah.
So, you know, they had to kind of piece together stuff too. And so, you know, a lot of teams that piece together like that, they don't end up performing as well. But kudos to the coaching staff. They took that team and they pieced everybody into place and they're making it work.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they are.
Definitely. Was I right about that game? I sure was. I'm gonna skip you, Houston and Lone Star, just for a second because I know I'm gonna have to use this a couple times for y'all. But we're gonna go to my favorite, and keep in mind I'm not on either one of these teams, but when these two teams get together, it's always a fun time, and that is the Denver Nightwings taking on the Las Vegas Fury in Vice Wars. Denver won first off 41-27, and I was wrong about this game. The Nightwings had 263 yards passing, 175 yards rushing for 438 yards total. Their time of possession was 28 minutes, 10 seconds, 3 mistakes. Florida had Fury had 371 yards passing, 47 yards rushing for 418 yards total. Their time of possession was 15 minutes, 50 seconds with 4 mistakes. And gentlemen, I will let you choose the player of the game because, of course, Cam's Xbox wouldn't allow the player of the game to be shown. So I'm going to let you guys decide who should be a player of the game for this game. But this is always fun. They played at Silver State Stadium, which actually made me choose Las Vegas to begin with, because usually when they're at home, they're pretty much unstoppable. But it looks like Denver had their card in this one.
As far as a player of the game, that was a simple choice. I mean, they didn't even really need to wait. Bailey O'Shaughnessy dominated that game.
Yeah.
Bailey went nuts with 24 carries, 144 yards, and a touchdown. That's just in the run game, and then you add in the additional pass game, of 60 yards on 12 receptions as well. You're talking over 200 yards of production out of your running back. I mean, I didn't need to see who was going to be MVP because valuable player of the game, because I already knew. Bailey O'Shaughnessy dominated that game, and I knew he would. I know we'll get into that later, but when we have the Rookie of the Year discussion. But let's talk about that.
Hey, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, just taking a look at the stats for that game real quick on both sides of the ball, and it has to be Bailey O'Shaughnessy. And no, I'm not just saying that as his former teammate out in Lexington. This game was definitely dominated by Bailey, with support from Ari Mills and the rest of the receiving core out in Denver. But no, this was the O'Shaughnessy show.
Yeah, I think I'm going to piggyback on the previous two gentlemen that spoke on, Bo and Aaron, that O'Shaughnessy basically dominated this game. And Bo, as I was looking at it, you stated 200 yards of total offense, man, by one player. Is just outstanding. He had a long rush of 52 yards. Anytime as an offensive coordinator, I love for my running back to get the ball anywhere between 24 to 27 times a game. And I feel that 24 is a key number as the base minimum for your running back, because the more touches he get, the more he get to beat up on that defense, whether it's the D-line or the linebackers or so, and you hit them guys enough, they're not going to want to attack you anymore. But, man, you cannot overlook the day of Eric Price as well. Only had 6 incompletions, but those 3 interceptions basically hurt him in reference to him being the player of the game. 3 touchdown passes on 263 yards passing is absolutely outstanding. And actually, you're right. This game between these two teams is always a barn-burner. I think it should be called the pink and loud blue game.
Oh, it's definitely colorful, honey. I'll tell you that.
It is definitely colorful, and due to that, I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't watch it, because I'd be like, man, these colors are
So you can't watch the Boise State play either, huh? With that blue field with that orange.
Yeah, I cannot watch Boise State games. I try to, like when the college season kicked off this season. I think they came on either Thursday night or Friday night for week 1. And I tried to watch. I was like, I can't do it. This is hurting my eyes. No sir, nah.
Listen, no lie. I thought something was wrong with my television screen. Like when I first saw it, because I wasn't expecting. I never seen a field that blue in my life. And then you got orange stripes. Like what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay.
and not to get off subject for too long, but there was another team that brought in red turf. But then NCAA jumped in and said no more of this. But Boise was the only one that was able to keep.
They grandfathered in.
Yeah, they were grandfathered in. They were the only one that was able to keep theirs. But yeah, that was about to get out of hand. I do not want to see Texas with a burnt orange field. Come on, bro. Eat grass green.
Talk about team spirit, huh? Oh man, the St. Louis Gladiators took on the Vancouver Legion, and this game surprised me. I'm gonna be real. St. Louis won 30-16 in Canada. The Gladiators had 259 yards passing, 91 yards rushing for 350 yards total. Their time of possession was 26 minutes, 28 seconds with 3 turnovers. Vancouver had 235 yards passing, 29 yards rushing 264 yards total. Their time in possession was 17 minutes, 15 seconds with 4 mistakes. Player of the game was Christian Brown, 20 completions out of 31 attempts, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 83.3. Like I said, this game was very surprising, and much like you were speaking of teams struggle for so long, I've always had a special place in my heart for St. Louis because everybody, especially when I started, like season 12, they always gave them crap. Players never wanted to stay. You know, they would get some top tier talent with the first round draft pick, and then all of a sudden they're moving on and things like that. And the key to any team growing and exceeding expectations is for you to have player retention. Mm-hmm. You can be the best coach in the world. You can be all of that. And you can eventually get your players where you want it to be. But having the same people to help you year after year or season after season after season get better.
Facts.
That's what St. Louis has done right here.
Facts.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead on this one here. I was shocked as well, Ashley, that St. Louis came away with this victory. I did not expect them to come out victorious in this game versus the Legion, as the Legion average over 33, something like that, 34 points a game. And I haven't seen St. Louis really play defense to a team of this caliber. I mean, great defense versus a team of this caliber. And man, you hold Vancouver down to 16 points. They must have looked at what Arizona did versus Vancouver and took what they did and say, hey, we're going to go with this, and this is going to be our game plan for this game. I mean, and we all know the SFL is a copycat league, just like the NFL is, you know. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If you do your homework and you figure out what someone is doing and it comes to your success, hey, by all means, take it and use it. But I also want to say this. Late in the fourth quarter, there was like 9 minutes or so left in this game. This game was far from over. And I want to say the score was still not close. I think I want to say it was like 27 to 13 or so, and 9 minutes on the clock. That's still a lot of time, right? In the fourth quarter, I made a comment in the chats and I said, this game is not over yet. I said, remember last season, Houston was up 28-7 Mexico City, and Mexico City came back to win this game. Now, I wasn't trying to say that or throw any shots at St. Louis or trying to say or predict them to lose this game. I was just throwing it out there, just starting a chat, right? Mm-hmm. You know, but there were some individuals from St. Louis that say, hey, we're not Houston. And I said, you're right. You're not Houston. You know, we have more wins than you all overall. But go to say, I want to put this on air. I apologize if I offended anyone from the St. Louis organization from my comments, because that was not what my intentions was. But when a dog bark at me, I'm sorry, this Chihuahua gonna bark back, you know. So I mean, that's just that. But I just wanted to send my apologies to that and just let the SFL Nation know that that was not my intentions to say that St. Louis was going to throw this game, because it happened. It came back and happened to us the next following day. So that's
see. Damon, I will say that does take a lot of gumption from you to apologize for something that was said in chat. A lot of times you say things people, not you particularly, but everybody says things at the heat of the moment, things like that. But then they don't really think how it could affect somebody else.
Yeah, I mean,
and if anybody knows you, I do. And if I'm like, please don't say nothing to Damon if he's mad, because you know he's gonna snap. He's gonna go right back, and it's gonna be back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I say, it wasn't my intentions to try to say anything bad about St. Louis, because they were winning the ball game. But I was just saying that in the fourth quarter, if my team is up, I'm not walking around with big balls like this game is over with, because we have lost a lot of games going back to season 8, where we had an 18-point lead versus the LA Sharks and we choked. You and then we choked the next following week. We played Vancouver, and Vancouver was 0-4, 0-5 coming into that game, and we were 4-1.
It happens.
It happens, and it's something that we do not have control over. It's the AI who is controlling everything, and that's what I like to tell people is that I'm not going to predict the win for my team because I'm not on the field. If I'm on the field, I know I'm going to play my heart out, and I may break every bone trying to get that victory too, but, I have no control over this. And basically, that's all I was just saying, is that this game ain't over with. Anything can happen. Vancouver has a high-powered offense. The AI can switch that momentum to them real quick, especially when Vancouver got that interception, and I'll stop right there.
And I wanted to say...
that's when I said it.
Go ahead, Bo. Say give credit to St. Louis's defense. First, but more importantly, give credit to St. Louis's scouts because they figured something out about the way Vancouver handles their business. And I don't know who their scouts are, but kudos to them. They were able to make a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback in Tom Pepper go 52% overall with 4 interceptions.
Wow.
Okay. And then not only that, another potential Hall of Fame running back in Robert the Natural Redford, he had 18 carries for 29 yards.
Yeah.
Bo, it was what that YPC was.
That was 1.6 yards per carry.
My goodness.
1.6 yards. And now everybody knows Robert Redford will beat up on anybody.
Yeah.
And somehow their scouts figured out a way to contain him. And here's another shocking number for me too. I looked at their wide receiving core. Kendra Hall, 2 receptions for 32 yards. Like she goes off every week.
She does.
And to be held to 2 receptions for 32 yards is just astronomical. And so hats off to the scouting crew and the coaching staff in St. Louis for whatever they came up with to shut down Vancouver, because they shut them down on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's another game that I was fortunate to be on the call for, and it was very, very uncharacteristic of Vancouver, especially Tom Pepper. I think it may have been the first 3 drives that Vancouver had. All 3 of them, first play interceptions. Just straight into the hands of the St. Louis secondary. You mentioned Robert Redford and his lack of production. St. Louis has the best rushing defense in the league. So the fact that they managed to hold Robert Redford under 30 yards isn't as much as a surprise to me as some people may think. Because their rush defense is that good. They allowed less than 50 yards of rushing per game this entire season. So
3.6 to be exact.
Yeah, it's definitely a surprise that St. Louis won this game, as far as looking at the general like how the league felt about the game in general. But St. Louis played their absolute asses off, especially coming off the loss they had the week prior to San Diego. So, yeah, I think this game is definitely more credit to the defensive prowess of St. Louis and how off they were able to look Tom Pepper and Vancouver look, as opposed to this being any sort of indication of Vancouver being not the team that we thought they were.
They aren't who we thought they were. Some famous words right there, buddy. Famous words.
You want to crown them? Go ahead and crown their asses.
Right.
I'm gonna give St. Louis their kudos, but I'm gonna answer Bo Martin's question for him. I was sitting there at work, so I really couldn't watch the game like I wanted to. But I'll say one thing about St. Louis: they definitely did their homework, because that defensive game plan they ran against Vancouver looked real doggone familiar to the game plan I ran against Vancouver a couple weeks ago. I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, you said it's a copycat league, right?
Hey, so like Mom said, I ain't mad at him. If you found something that worked, bro, by all means, you'd be stupid not to try it.
Well, we need to be taking the place in Baltimore then, straight up.
Hey, trust me, I've stole a few. This season alone.
Seriously. Speaking
About
of
20 plays.
I'm bad. Speaking of San Diego Mavericks, they were taking on the Portland Fleet in the Shipyard, and Portland won 33-10. Was I right about this game? Yes, I was. Mavericks had 252 yards passing, 39 yards rushing for 291 yards total. Their time of possession was 30 minutes and 59 seconds with 2 turnovers. Portland had 181 yards passing, 114 yards rushing for 295 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes and 24 seconds with 1 mistake. Player of the game was Mr. Ezekiel Love, running back. 23 attempts, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 23 reception yards. So, gentlemen, what did you think about this game?
I mean, this game is just crazy. It's like, how does San Diego allow a team to beat them that only passes the ball for 181 yards? You know, I mean, they also give you a turnover as well. Scoring off of turnovers is another key statistic as well. You have to put points on the board when the team gives you the ball. I mean, but Portland basically came out and just killed them in the run game. You know, 114 yards rushing with Ezekiel Love. I mean, how can you hate a name like that? You know,
you gotta love it, right? You gotta love.
You gotta love it. I mean, two rushing touchdowns, man. That doesn't come easy in this league. You know, I mean, this game was basically close. You know, neck and neck. The total yards are right there, four yards apart, and then first downs, 1 first down apart, 14 and 15 or so. This was just a crazy game here, and Portland just found a way to win it. And basically, it came in the third quarter when they put up 17 points.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. Everybody know what happened in that game.
Oh,
twice, not once. Twice.
The overhead snap.
Portland getting ready to punt, and the ball went flying over the punter's head. San Diego twice went to go punt.
How did that
twice happen? The ball went over the punter's head. On one of them, they put Portland in prime position. They scored a touchdown. Another one, they scored a field goal off it. San Diego had the momentum in that game, and they lost it from those 2 plays. That was crushing.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
I've seen that happen maybe 3 times in the SFL.
Yeah, but twice in the same game?
I've never seen it twice in the same game.
Yeah, I don't know if the league front office still allow this, but I know seasons back we used to request for an offensive lineman to be the long snapper instead of the third. I think it's the third tight end.
Third tight end.
Yeah, it's like the third tight end, which is the long snapper. We used to request it doesn't the game doesn't allow you to put a center there, but you can put a guard or a tackle there at that long snapper spot. And like I said, I don't know if the league still allow us to do it. I don't think they do now because
not anymore.
Yeah, when Destro was doing it, and I think Tom did it a few times or so, but Destro used to if a team recommended, he would go ahead and make that substitution for you or so. But yeah, now you're pretty much going to see it a whole lot now because having a tight end as the long snapper is just
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Aaron and Bo.
I was going to talk about Ezekiel, but I love. Like I talk about Ezekiel, I've been singing his praises since last season when I was advocating for him for Rookie of the Year. And he was one of the main reasons that I said Portland was going to come out of the gutter. They had been going through some struggles, and I said last year that he was going to be the one to elevate them. And he's a perfect running back for OJ Bruin to help OJ Bruin get his legs underneath him. With OJ being a rookie, he's still a little shaky, he's still a little wobbly. You need a bell cow running back, and Ezekiel Love is just that. And I think Portland knows that, and they have predicated their offense through Ezekiel Love. He takes care of the football, he gets you yards. And I think that's really, really important. It allows OJ Bruin to not have to throw the ball that much while he continues to progress. He only had 179 yards, did OJ Bruin, 1 pass touchdown, 1 interception. So he needs a running back like Ezekiel Love. And so he's a great addition. And in my opinion, Ezekiel Love is the reason why they're in the playoff push right now.
Good point. What about you, Aaron?
I mean, the only thing I really have to say is that this season, Portland has looked like a completely different team that they have in seasons prior, and it shows. They have a positive record, I believe, for the first time in franchise history. They're on a push to make the playoffs for the first time. It's impressive how Portland has changed between last season and this, especially with the rookie quarterback in OJ Bruin.
Good stuff. Next up, we have the Arizona Scorpions traveling to Liberty Park and taking on the Sioux Falls Sparrows, of which we won 34-10. AZ, and was I right about this game?
Yeah. Absolutely.
AZ had 293 yards passing, 105 yards rushing for 398 yards total. Time of possession was 27 minutes and 58 seconds with 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions. Sioux Falls had 304 yards passing, 23 yards rushing with 327 yards total. Time of possession was 15 minutes, 10 seconds, also with 3 turnovers. Player of the game was running back DJ Moses II, with 26 attempts, 104 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 40 reception yards. So this was a great game to watch. We had our foot on the gas the entire time. You could not let up against Sioux Falls. The moment that you get comfortable, you will see Colin Hart blazing right past you, or you will, see the quarterback, throwing lights out. So we had our players exactly where they needed to be. Eddie, you put together a really, really, really effective game plan against the Sioux Falls Sparrows. And though they're not having a great season, they still have those flashes of brilliancies that could have turned this game around, But unfortunately, they didn't. And fortunately for us, we were able to come off with this is our 4th win in a row?
Fifth
win in a row? Yeah. So kudos, man.
Yeah.
All week long, I was nervous about this game because we got Mexico City this week, and I didn't want to come into Mexico City with a loss because I know how tough Mexico City is. And people were calling it a trap game and all that. Man, let me tell you, I was in a lab all week because I was so nervous about going into Mexico City with a loss. And so, man, my Sims, because it's crazy because the last time we played Sioux Falls, my offense was totally different than what it is now. And so I started running Sims like, man, she ain't quite as fluid. But I didn't have to make many changes because anyone who coaches know you take a play out here or there and it totally changes the way the AI calls the game. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. Yeah. So I just had to find a couple of things to do different, and it just flipped the switch on our offense, and we was good to go, and we was rolling. And I ran about probably, I think like 18 sims after that, something like that, because I was writing the scores down, and I like what I saw, and I submitted it. But even still, with us playing last on a weekend, man, I hate waiting till those last couple of games on Sunday, man, because everybody else getting their wins. I have to wait till anybody good game, and you sitting around waiting for your own score. But our third down offense is what helped us win that game, because I think I can't remember exactly what we were, but I think we only missed a couple of third down conversions throughout the entire game. And so the freaking turnovers in the red zone. Oh my God, they kept lining us up 5 wide. I'm like, what is the AI doing, bro? But other than that, I was real pleased. I was happy to see BJ get going because I haven't been able to get him consistent since season 14, but he had a good game today, and I was proud to see that.
Yeah, Eddie, looking at your game strategy worked, and I don't know if you talked to Damon or if y'all just have similar strategies, but your third down percentage was through the roof, 71%. So that means that y'all stayed on the field, because if you can get on the field and stay on the field, that leads to touchdowns or field goals, and of course that that's going to help you win games. And take nothing away from Sioux Falls. They, as opposed to, here's the difference between Sioux Falls and Tulsa. It still feels like Sioux Falls has life. even though their records are similar, it still feels like Sioux Falls is fighting. It seems like they've hit a couple of tough patches. They've had some tough losses, some tough breaks. But they've lost 9 in a row. And so that's tough for any team, but you all had a great strategy against them. You absolutely dominated the time and possession. Again, that has a lot to do with the third down conversion. You dominated the time of possession 28 minutes to 15 minutes. So, and not only that, you were able to get a couple of turnovers, and that's really helpful in winning the game. You held Colin Hart to, 20 yards rushing. Look at that. Okay. 8 rush attempts for 20 yards rushing. So you basically made them one-dimensional. And when you have a quarterback who's not quite ready to take the reins, in my opinion, well, I guess he's been around long enough, but Julian Tyree, he's shaky sometimes. And so you were able to pick him off 3 times. And that just allowed you all to secure the victory. So when your quarterback can't throw the ball and your running back can't run the ball, that's a recipe for failure. So y'all pretty much dominated from beginning to end on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Bo. I sent Eddie a message last week because I was scouting you all and I was watching the Arizona and Lone Star game. And I sent Eddie a message. I'm not sure, Eddie, if you remember the message that I sent you, but
I remember.
If you want to tell the people, you can. If not, I'll do it.
I'll let you do it, bro.
I said, man, I am enjoying the artistry of your offense right now. I mean, it is so smooth. It moves fluently, and when he found something that's basically putting Ashley in position to make great plays, with that she's not forcing the ball deep across the middle anymore, and triple coverage, because that used to run Eddie crazy. I used to have to hear it either a day or two after the game. Man, god damn, I can't know why she keep throwing the ball across the middle.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, it looked beautiful, and I have Sioux Falls next week, so I've been scouting that game all day today. Mm-hmm. And it is just looking amazing what Arizona was able to do this game. And if you're doing both offense and defense, it's hard. It is hard to be so dominant on both sides of the ball. You're either good on one side and slacking on the other, but to be good on both offense and defense, as you stated, Bo, Arizona basically forced Sioux Falls to become one-dimensional because they took Colin Hart out of the game. He only had 20 yards total on how many attempts was it?
Carries.
18 carries?
8.
8 carries?
Yeah.
Come on, they didn't want to run the ball no more. I mean, that's like the Philadelphia Eagles last night. They only ran the ball twice. I mean, hate to bring the Eagles up in this, but yeah, man. I mean, that just goes to show you what type of. And I told Eddie this today. I say, how in the hell? Pardon my French, Ashley, and the kids out there. How is it that you get a sack on a screen pass? I mean,
right?
I mean that.
Everybody's supposed to be moving together. What's going on?
I told Ed, I said, man, your defensive line, dude, is crazy. I mean, I've watched previous, the past 2 weeks of your team, not watching you but I got to scout this opponent who you just played, and I said, man, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what I'm seeing. I mean, when I saw you get 2 sacks on the screen pass, dude, that just blew everything up. I'm like, how is that even possible? Because it's a
long time to develop those defensive linemen, man. If you can keep,
you're right,
and you think they're good now, oh my God! Next season, if I can keep everybody together, oh my God, bro, it's a wrap.
I totally understand. I'm trying. My retention. My turnover rate has been really high over the past 2 seasons. So we'll get to that later. Ashley have us on the timer.
I got to. I got to. Aaron, did you go already?
I don't really have anything to say about this game particularly.
Yeah, no worries. I
don't blame you, Aaron. They lost 9 in a row.
Oh, stop it.
I mean, they talked about us. We lost 5 in a row. I mean, I'm not saying them in particular, but the critics. They talk. I know. I hear.
Lastly,
let's get to it, Ashley. Let's get to
Houston
it.
Hyenas took on the Lone Star Glory
There we go.
at
Come
Medal
on,
of Honor
Chris.
Field. And the Glory won 34-28. Houston had 292 yards passing, 112 yards rushing for 404 yards total. The time of possession was 20 minutes, 52 seconds with 2 mistakes. Lone Star had 242 yards passing, 190 yards rushing for 132. Wait, that is not right. For 432 yards total. Time of possession was 21 minutes, 48 seconds with no mistakes. Player of the game was Miss Ike McBride, 26 attempts, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 reception yards, and 1 reception touchdown. So she put in some work, but I'm gonna let you gentlemen have this. But listen, look, both of you. Okay?
Me and Alexander, we gonna step back and let them two talk.
Yeah.
Wait, Bo, you can take the floor first. You won the game. You go
All right,
ahead.
so I'm gonna say this. LSG did not dominate this game, right? I will concede that it was not total domination. It was back and forth. We looked lethargic in the first half of the game. We couldn't get anything going. Their defense was stifling us at every turn. The only thing we had going at that was a pretty much consistent was Ike McBride. And she allowed us to kind of float, to keep ourselves afloat until we got recombobulated in the second half of the game. So it wasn't utter domination. I would love to be able to say, oh yeah, we came in and dominated and they never stood a chance. But the fact is the game could have just as easily gone the other way. I don't feel like either team dominated the other. The one saving grace, Dave Axis had a really great game as well. But the one saving grace was the fact that Ike was just basically unstoppable. I call her truck stick. She's just a, I would say human truck stick, but it's a video game. But truck stick is the best way to describe it because as the game goes on, Ike gets stronger. So you have to feed her, and once she starts eating, she gets hungry and she wants more. And so she had a phenomenal game. She let us get our feet up underneath us while we were struggling. And then once Dave got going, he had 8 receptions for 98 yards. At the end of the day, he got it together. We didn't really get much out of Deuce Fennick and Adam Williams. But, like I said, it was basically just Ike and Dave on offense. And then on defense, Evan Lacey has been a really, really great addition to our team. And I'm glad his dad I'm glad his dad chose to join us in Lone Star, because Evan has been a really great addition to our team. He was able to come up with an interception. And, after moving to free safety, a lot of people wondered how was he going to convert, moving to free safety. And he's done a really good job at doing that. And then I'll leave myself out. I had an interception as well that actually resulted in the score, which kind of started the turnaround. But I mean, it's truly a blessing for my player to be playing as well as he is, and it seems like when I get the ball, we score points. And that's important because that means that me getting turnovers are helping to contribute to my team getting points. So that's huge for me. And it's great to be a contributing player, on the defense. And then J Mart, one of the leading tacklers in the SFL, he's always contributing. He had added another 5 or 6 tackles with a tackle for loss. Juke and Rukin is a beast. It's our defensive line our defense, I should say. We're still developing in certain spots, but in other spots, we really do excel. And I think that it's a crapshoot if you decide to test our defense, because we're either you might get one by us, but if you do it the wrong way, we're going to torch you every time. So in this particular game, we did just enough on defense. We did more than enough on offense, but we did just enough on defense to come away with the win.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Bo. Your defense is very underrated is what I'm going to say. I mean, because this defense is really good. They don't get enough credit for the things that they do defensively. Juke and Rukin, man, would cause havoc all game long. It doesn't show in the stats. It only shows he had 3 tackles and 1 sack.
Pressure.
It was the pressure. It was the pressure. He had 1 pressure on Dave Bird where that Dave Bird stepped in the pocket and just overthrew the receiver. And I think you commented, he was like, where was he throwing the ball to? And then here's another funny thing. Earlier on the week, last week, my wife juked me or did something like that. I was like, who do you think you are, Juke and Rukin? She said, yeah. She said, yeah, sure you know who Juke and Rukin is. But yeah, just going back to the game here, man, this game here was crazy. I knew it was going to be a dogfight coming out as I was preparing for this game. We did win the third down percentage, which as I like to do. The first half went straight Houston's way. The first drive, we milked the heck out the clock. That first drive, I think we was like 15 plays or something like that, and I think we took off like 7 minutes on the clock or so. I know at halftime we had like 15 minutes of time of possession at halftime. We were up 21-10, and I knew the game wasn't over. I knew it was far from over. But man, you guys forced some turnovers, which was key. Houston didn't force a single turnover at all. I think you guys had 2 picks, right? Yep, you did have 2 picks, and I think you guys got points off of both of those picks.
Sure did.
If I'm not mistaken. And that was key. You have to score 7, not 3 points off of these turnovers that you force another team to do. And basically, man, I just have to give kudos to the entire Lone Star organization, man, because you guys came to play and it showed. Ike McBride is a phenomenal back, is a phenomenal halfback, man, and she doesn't get the praise as most running backs do, especially out of the power back group. You hardly ever hear her name, probably because she's a woman. I hate to say that, but she's never mentioned up there with the Jet Zeros, the Ray Bentleys and the Phoenix Jones. I think it's time for us to go ahead and give Ike McBride her flowers and
talk to him
and basically not put her on the pedestal, but basically put her in that group of dominant backs.
In the conversation where she
exactly,
needs to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Put her in that conversation where she needs to be, just as Bo just stated, man, because that is one beast of a running back. I'm telling you. And Bo, you stated she basically kept you guys in the game because she had that 74-yard touchdown run in the first half, which basically broke the defense. Mm-hmm. And in the second half, you kept giving it to her, and she's constantly beating up on the defense, She murdered Ethan Kai. Not twice. I mean, not once, not twice. I think 3 times it was.
She did. It was bad.
I asked Ethan, did he need an RIP sign? So, I mean, it wasn't only Ethan. She murdered Alex Perez as well. Alex Perez is an outstanding middle linebacker, but man, when you got a back like that that's running downhill, a head full of steam, it's hard to basically stop her. And she basically broke the defense, which allowed you guys' passing game to come into play. Because I started to see we started to go more into cover 3 in that second half of the game. The AI started dropping the safeties down in the box, and that allowed, access to become open without that second safety sitting back there and playing in quarters. But outstanding performance by the Lone Star Glory. Congratulations on that victory, and kudos to you guys.
Thank you. And can I just add one thing? And DR, I mean this with all due respect. It was an honor to hold you to 3 receptions and 45 yards.
I meant to mention that. I forgot to say it. Yeah, I mean, I knew Bo Martin was going to be an issue. The guy stands 6'4", 200.
He's big, a big corner, dude.
He is a humongous corner, probably the biggest corner in the league.
I'm telling you.
I mean, and then he has bump master on him, and you know what? I got to look up his strength. I'm sorry. Lone Star Glory, Bo Martin. Dude is maxed out in strength at 62 for a cornerback. Yeah. I mean, he's already heavy. Yeah. Height and weight proportions matters in this game. And then you put strength on the guy. Yeah, man, DRCMA number 6'3", 215. And he barely has. I think my strength is like at 32 or something like that. My strength is weak. I'm horrible. I have no strength.
Gotta hit the bench in the off season, man. That's all.
Yeah, my strength is at a base 30. So
it was I'm always, when it comes to holding the receivers, I spoke earlier before the show about I don't get thrown to that often, but if there was ever a receiver that was going to torch me, I thought it was going to be you. And so, I mean, that's not to say it won't happen the very next game, but that's why I said it was an honor to hold you down, because not many cornerbacks can do that.
Oh,
the game plan was to go away from you, or if not to try to run any fades or any go routes, because you're too big. You guys was bumping me all game throughout the week. Even in the game, you guys were bumping me. So I wanted to go either post with them against you, or basically target the other side of the field. And Kyle Fenimore was the number one receiver. I think Kyle had 6 receptions for 98 yards. But also I have to give kudos to Randy Pierce. Randy Pierce had another 5 receptions for 65 yards. Not a whole lot, but in a tight end spot, you don't see that many targets when, I built my offense for everyone to touch the ball, not just for targets to go straight to Sim because that's my player. I have other guys I got to look out for as well. But I also have to mention Justin Williams. This rookie fullback, man, came to
he gonna be nice, ain't he?
He gonna be nice. He came to play 3 overall touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 in the air, receiving, 6 carries for 24 yards. Man, I wasn't expecting him to get that many carries. I just put maybe 2 or 3 fullback dives in there for him, and hell, the AI said, let's give it to this big dude.
That'll be an incredible 1-2 punch, man.
6'4", 260.
Woof.
Yeesh. Nice. Well, guys.
Yeah. Let me start building his strength up right now.
He's gonna be trucking everybody.
It's upsetting when the fullback that you helped build gets his first touchdown in the majors before you do. I'll just say that. Yeah, Justin Williams was supposed to be on the Mud Dogs this minor league season. He gets called up to Houston a couple weeks ago, and he's already playing better than I am. I don't.
Knows him too well, I guess. Gentlemen, great conversation. Great. I'm glad that you guys were able to break these games down with me, like in the manner that we have. Good stuff all around. Overall, I got 9 right and 3 wrong in my guesses, so not bad, I guess. We're gonna see how week 11 shakes up, though. So this.
Oh wait, Ashley, did you say who you picked for that Houston and LSG game?
Oh.
Yeah.
Go back.
Wait. You know I'm gonna let that ride.
Nah. Was I right about this game? Yeah.
Oh dang.
I called.
You know what? I'm not gonna hold you on. We're weak on the defensive end. On the defensive side of the ball, our defensive line needs some work, should I say? Because we're not stuffing the run. We're allowing, I think over 100. I think it's 150 yards a game. I saw it's either 150 or 118 yards rushing a game. We're allowing something like that. But yeah, that's too many rushing yards or so to be allowing per game, and that just goes to show that the defensive line basically needs some tuning and some help. So we'll get there. We're in a reloading stage as well. So
I feel you on that. All right, and so now we're going to slide over to SFL chat around the water cooler, where we will be discussing pick-ems for week 11 and who we think will win SFL Honors. To see the stats, or all the stats that we discuss, articles, links to more great content like this one, and even to receive more information about the SFL in general, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net to find the channels for the following games on your device. Visit itsnextlevel.com and FTF next.com. All right, so it's going to be a great slate of games coming up. First one, Saturday, October the 2nd. The Florida Storm will be taking on the Jacksonville Kings. FTF Twitch channel at 5 o'clock. And Jacksonville will be at home. It's going to be a great game, but I am going with the Florida Storm. I think they're just hot.
Yeah, I think the colors of my jacket should say it all. This is Florida's game all the way.
All right.
It's gonna be a good game, but I think I'm leaning towards Florida.
Be right back.
Florida.
All right. Did Damon make a chance? He didn't make a choice. He didn't make a selection.
Nope. He just said I'll be right back.
I'll be
Got
right
up.
back.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go back to him. At 5:20 p.m. on SFL's. Oh, here we go.
We got Baby Duty.
DJ.
Yeah.
That's my DJ. All right.
Sorry, baby duties. Yeah, I take a Florida Storm in that matchup.
Gotcha. So the Sioux Falls Sparrows will be taking on the Houston Hyenas. Hyenas will be at home at 5:20 p.m. On SFL's Twitch network. And because it's a home game and because the Sparrows have been struggling over the past few weeks, I'm going to go with the Houston Hyenas.
It's as much as Fort Worth probably needs Houston to lose this game in order to have a chance at playoffs. I don't think it's going to happen.
Agree.
Houston.
Thank y'all. Yeah, I'm going to take Houston as well.
All right.
Houston offense is just too powerful.
All right, then. And on Saturday, October 2nd as well, the Arizona Scorpions will be taking on the Mexico City Aztecs on Next Level FTF and Twitch channel. We will be traveling to Mexico City to take this win. Again, I'm going with the Scorpions.
Scorpions. I go Arizona.
Potential game of the week and everything. I'm gonna keep it short. I want to say Mexico City, but Eddie has been clowning with his scouting and his defense and offense. I gotta go AZ on this one. I gotta go AZ on this one.
Yeah, definitely potential to be game of the week. I'm a cop out. This is a pick 'em for me. It's
No, ain't no pick'ems on this. You better flip a coin.
Hold on, I got a coin to flip. Give me a second. Sugar
honey iced. Just say a name.
It's tails. I'm going Mexico City.
Oh, okay. And muting his mic. Okay. Go ahead. And Eddie, of course, AZ.
AZ by 1 point.
It's gonna be close.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
it
be
will
close.
At 8:15 p.m. on Simulation Football League's Twitch channel, the Louisiana Revolution will be taking on the St. Louis Gladiators. Gladiators will be at home, and I am going with St. Louis by 3.
St. Louis by 7.
Another good game. St. Louis by 4.
I go Louisiana by 14.
Ooh.
Where's this game at?
St. Louis.
Oh, I renege. I
almost called you a name, but it would have sounded bad.
No, St. Louis.
You know what they call people who renege?
Yeah.
Don't get my show canceled.
I'm gonna go St. Louis. They've had Louisiana's number lately.
Bro.
Gotcha.
No, you can't.
Also on Next Level Sports FTF Twitch channel, the Los Angeles Lakers will be traveling to Canada to take on the Vancouver Legion, I think
take it off.
Vancouver is actually going to take this win. Maybe not by much, but I think they're going to get it together.
Here, you take this.
LA's defense is too good. I've got to go LA here.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're playing at home and they're coming off a loss, I'm gonna go with Vancouver.
I'm sorry, who's the team again?
LA, Vancouver, in Vancouver.
This is tough for me. Vancouver is Vancouver has basically been sliding on the offensive side of the ball, and I got to go with that LA defense.
All right.
Rochelle Colston is just dominating on that back end.
All right. Eddie, who you got?
Dude.
Oh.
Get up.
Oh.
No.
That's going to be another one that's going down to the fourth quarter.
Look my hand.
I know one thing, LA.
You gonna put it on?
LA beat them early this season too. They had like almost 300 yards rushing. I'm gonna go LA again.
All righty then. Lone Star Glory will be taking on the Las Vegas Fury at Silver State Stadium at 10:15 p.m. on SFL's Twitch channel. And this is going to be a great game. And I think that Lone Star is actually going to go in and sneak away with the win on this one.
This is Lone Star in Fort Worth?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Lone Star in Las Vegas.
I have Lone Star. Although they're division rivals, I think Lone Star comes away with the victory here. Too much Ike McBride.
I got Lone Star as well.
Mm-hmm. Aaron?
Vegas.
All right.
mute that man.
Fight me both.
Aaron said, "I don't care. I am not giving."
I got LSG by 10.
All right. I'm gonna hold you to that, Bo. You know I will.
Listen, I know for a fact that in order for Fort Worth to make playoffs, we absolutely need Lone Star to lose. I said Houston was gonna win. I can't do the same for Lone Star. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Sunday on October the 3rd, the Queen City Corsairs will be taking on the Baltimore Vultures at 1:00 in Vulture Stadium on For the Fans Twitch channel. This is going to be a fantastic game, but I'm going with Baltimore to win by maybe 3.
This is gonna be Baltimore's biggest challenge of the year.
Yes.
I'm taking Baltimore, but keep in mind what I just said about the 2000 San Antonio Spurs with Queen City. It's gonna be a tough match.
Yeah, I agree with. Go ahead, Aaron.
I think this is where we'll see Baltimore get its first loss.
Okay.
Probably its only loss.
Wow. He could be right. He could be right.
If not here, then it may not happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Queen City is going to have to do it on the defensive end of the ball. They really is going to have to put clamps on that back end. You know, Chima and Irvin, man, those two route receivers, dude, are probably the best duo in the SFL. And outside of Sage Falco and Boo Chisholm, you know, so you got to look at that back end. And I think if Queen City can handle that back end, they win this game. But I'm going to go Baltimore by 10.
Okay. Eddie?
Baltimore's schedule has been light at best. That said, they walk away with 2, 3, 4 score wins. I mean, they putting up 40 points a game. Queen City is built to play with the lead in the second half. If they don't go into the halftime with the lead, that game may get away from them late. Baltimore at home, man, bro. Baltimore ain't played nobody, but they battle tested. They just won a chip a couple seasons ago. And like I said last week, they got 2 Hall of Fame coaches. I'm going to go Baltimore.
All right, gotcha. So, Carolina Skyhawks will be taking on the Charleston Predators in Predators territory at 1:20 p.m. on SFL's Twitch channel. It's going to be a great game. I think Carolina's going to sneak in and take a win, though. The way they play Baltimore, yeah.
Go with Charleston here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Carolina.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Carolina as well.
Okay. And Damon, Carolina or Charleston?
I go Carolina. They put 51 on us.
Yeah. Gotcha. And the Portland Fleet will be taking on the Atlanta Swarm in the Hive at 3 p.m. on FTF Twitch channel. Ooh, it's going to be a great game. I think I'm going to go for Atlanta because they are very good at home.
Atlanta by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be a good game. I'm gonna go Atlanta here.
Atlanta.
Sorry, who's the opponent?
Damon, it is
Portland.
Portland and
Atlanta.
Gotcha.
Atlanta by
And-
20.
Whoa!
Okay. At 3:20 p.m. On October the 3rd on the Simulation Football League's Twitch channel, the DC Dragons will be taking on the London Knights in Queensway. This is going to be a difficult game, I think, because London is at home. I'm going to give them the edge on this one.
London they've got to have this victory. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. If they're clinging to any playoff hopes, they've got to have this victory. They need to win out. So I'm going London here.
Mm-hmm.
I think DC is going to play spoiler to London's playoff hopes here.
Gotcha.
DC has so many one-score losses this season. They've been on a bit of a losing streak themselves, but the game is in London. I'm gonna go DC.
Okay, gotcha. And when we get Damon back, he'll let us know whether he's going on DC or London.
He chasing DJ around.
Oh yeah, I know. So we're gonna go ahead and skip.
Here you come.
He always come right on time.
I had to take him to my wife.
I get it.
I agree with Aaron. I think DC is going to play spoiler to London's playoff hopes, and DC is going to come away with this victory. I'm going to say DC this time. They're going to get a victory by 3.
All right, sounds good.
Instead of being on the other side of it.
Gotcha. The Fort Worth Toros will be taking on the Denver Night Wings in Denver at 5 o'clock. FTF Twitch channel. And I'm sorry, Aaron, but I gotta go with Denver on this one, especially since they at home, man.
That's fine. I'm still saying my team's going to win this game.
That's right.
Denver. I'll just leave it at that.
Where's the game at?
Denver.
Denver just put up 41 points. I'm gonna go Fort Worth.
Ooh.
Okay. Damon, who you got?
I'm going to take Fort Worth. I think Fort Worth is going to pull this one out of the bag. Denver has been rocky, all season long, and so has Fort Worth as well. But I like Fort Worth chances because of the pieces that they have on offense with Curtis and with Thrilliums. Any man bet against Thrilliums needs to be adjusted. I'm just gonna say that.
No.
I need Fort Worth to go ahead and take this L so we can officially get them out of the picture.
Yeah, no. You would say that, Bo.
You're right. I
would. Gotcha. And Desperados, finally, the Desperados will be taking on the Tulsa Desperados, I should say, will be taking on the San Diego Mavericks at 5:20 p.m. on SFL's Twitch channel. And this will be a home game for the Mavericks, of which I think that they're going to win at home.
This game is less about who wants to win more and more about who wants to lose less, if you ask me. But I believe that San Diego at least has a pulse. I'm going San Diego.
Bo, I think this game is more about who wants the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, that too.
and I'm going to take San Diego in this game. I just don't see Tulsa coming away with victory here, because San Diego they have been in games over the past few weeks, shit we had.
Yep.
And Tulsa just has not been doing anything statistically on the offensive side of the ball to basically put themselves in position to win games. So with that being said, I'm going San Diego, and I think San Diego's going to win big. I'm going San Diego by 17.
Ooh, okay.
I'm actually gonna
go ahead, Aaron.
I'm actually gonna agree with Demond on that one. I'm gonna go San Diego by 17.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's gonna be quite that bad. I'll say San Diego by 10.
Okay.
I won't give any point spreads, but I got San Diego winning the game.
Okay. Gotcha. Gentlemen, we're gonna see how right we are and how wrong we are. We're gonna hold each other accountable. Okay. Now, just for those that don't know, on Saturday, Florida clinched the Atlantic Division. Mexico City clinched the Southern Division, and Baltimore clinched a first round bye, but has not yet clinched the North. DC Dragons and Tulsa were eliminated from playoff contention. On Sunday, Arizona clinched the Western Division. Woo woo. Queen City clinched a playoff spot, and San Diego was eliminated. Undecided divisions include the North, the East, and the Pacific. Baltimore clinches the North with a win over Queen City. Atlanta clinches the East with a win over Portland, and the LA Vikings will clinch the division, the Pacific. That word division over a win if they win in Vancouver. So this should be some great games to watch this weekend. Now, gentlemen, I know DJ's running amok. Demond, I know, Eddie, wife. I know Aaron, y'all got stuff to do. Bo, you just, probably got some voiceovers to do. So listen.
I do.
We're going to go ahead and answer this question. If the SFL Honors were tomorrow, who would win those classic awards based on the performance that people have displayed for the season thus far? These, since you guys got the list already, I'm going to let my viewers know. This list includes Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie Offensive Player of the Year, and Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, Special Teams Player of the Year. I'm adding O-Line of the Year because I think that is very important. MVP, Best Front Office Staff, Best Social Media. I also added Best Team Representations in chat and game day chat because I'm usually at every game and I see some teams are a lot more prevalent than others. The Richard Pratchett Broadcaster of the Year Award. I would also add Statistician of the Year Award because Stats team is absolutely amazing in helping the broadcast team do their thing. And Best Moment of the Year and Coach of the Year. So, gentlemen, if you can give me your listings as quickly as possible, I will greatly appreciate it. I don't know who wants to start first, but the camera will be on you when you do. Oh, y'all! All y'all silent.
I guess
that's a lot.
All you said.
The SFL Honors, how we all, what the SFL Honors ballot has on it.
I only worry about one award.
MVP.
No.
Okay.
Rookie of the Year.
How about this? Who do you think should be Offensive Player of the Year, guys?
Jack Whitmore.
Okay.
Agreed. Jack Whitmore.
I go with Jack Whitmore. If not MVP, Offensive Player of the Year.
Gotcha. So, good question. Who wins MVP?
You know what? I'm gonna take that back. MVP will be Jack Whitmore.
Pertaining to the records of Baltimore, yes, but and in reference to what Ezekiel Love mean to Portland, I think I have to go with Ezekiel on MVP.
I agree with you on that one.
Because he means so much to Portland, because without him, I don't think Portland is having the success that they're having this season without Ezekiel Love.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm going to disagree with you on that, and I see what you're saying about his value to his team, is not the record, but their wins against who they beaten. They haven't beat anyone with above 500 record. But as far as what he means to his team, he by far means more to his team than any other player in the SFL.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Who should get defensive player of the year?
Saron Yates.
Oh, wow. It's unanimous.
Wait, for who?
Defensive player of the year, Saron Yates.
I'm a little biased on that one, but
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Okay. Who you got?
Who is that?
who me? I'm looking at J Mart.
I don't know. My headphones doing something.
Baltimore's Saron Yates?
I don't know who that is. I don't watch Baltimore
he's
games.
leading like the league in what is it?
he's the sack leader with like 15, and it's not even close to
Not
second.
even close.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Actually, yeah, he's got 16, and the next closest is at 10 with AJ Walker out of Baltimore, who's also with Baltimore. That's crazy.
Right.
You're
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shoot. I had someone else in mind, but I go with Yates.
All right.
That is pretty impressive. I'll be
It
honest.
is.
That is.
Very much so. Who should get rookie offensive player of the year?
I got to go with Dave Burr. He's lighting it up when it comes to quarterbacks. He's leading all rookie quarterbacks and passing yards and touchdowns. I got to go. Although I think he is leading all rookies and interceptions as well, but I think if you look at, passing yards and touchdowns, he's leading all rookies in those statistics. I don't think anyone has a higher completion rating than he does either. Probably Eric Price has last time I saw, I think Price had a better completion rating than Burr. But Burr is my pick for offensive rookie of the year.
Gotcha.
I'm also gonna go with Dave Burr for the reason that a lot of people probably aren't going to think of. Dave Burr was only in the minors for one season.
Yeah.
No value.
Every other quarterback that was drafted was a two-year guy, except for Dave Burr. And Dave Burr's performance this season has eclipsed what the other the 2-year guys have done this season for their teams.
Great point.
I'm gonna go a different direction. I said it earlier. I'm gonna go Charlie Boletsky here, and here's why. I was looking at the running backs, and Charlie Boletsky is ranked number 6 as far as
Charlie Boletsky's not a rookie.
He's not a rookie though.
Oh, okay. Well, then it won't be Charlie Boletsky.
Now, if we're talking running backs, are you thinking O'Shaughnessy then?
That's who I would. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Bailey.
Thank you. I was referring to Bailey O'Shaughnessy. I'm sorry. Thank you. Bailey O'Shaughnessy has been performing exceptionally well. His numbers are. I'll tell you who he's compared his numbers with. His numbers are actually right next to Robert Redford, and that's a huge testimony. A huge testimony to how well he's come along in the SFL, and so he'd be my choice for. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry as a rookie. Okay, and not only that, he's I think he's the leading receiver for Denver with 91 receptions, and so he's contributing in a major way in Denver, and that's my rookie of the year pick.
I mean, that's cool and all, but I think you should still should
that is not
Burr
correct.
because he's in the top 6. He's outbeating a lot of these vets. One Ashley Jackson.
Ooh. Ouch! Shots fired! Shots fired!
You are now muted.
Damn!
Eddie. Before I say something.
Y'all feel that breeze?
Yeah, it's gonna be icy in a minute.
Just got real spicy in here real quick.
It did.
It's a joke.
Wow.
Hey, I bet you Eddie ain't gonna say Dave Burr now. You done messed that
up. So when Damon and me and Damon real cool. I like Damon, but he brought my quarterback up, so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna mention that Ashley Jackson is tied for 3rd least interceptions this season.
Nice.
But when I go look for Dave Burr, he's way down there. He got 24 of them things, like 8 more than Ashley.
They do, but you know what? Ashley she's number 2 in completion percentage, And that goes to what I was saying earlier in reference to what you have done with your offense and how you have put her in positions not to throw a lot of picks. And you can just see it in the completion rating at 76.18. Now, I'm not trying to kiss butt here or anything like that, but I'm just stating the obvious. You know, so that's just that.
You could have fooled me.
Again, you see this eyebrow? Go ahead, Eddie. Go ahead.
With all that said, you know, it's hard to overlook Bird. You know, you think about it, he was the last quarterback chosen. He only had one season in the minors. He came in with very low value, and he's still putting up good numbers despite the interceptions. But I think that's more so to deal with the fact that, you know, the man like throwing that ball deep downfield to himself.
I feel you. Rookie defensive player of the year.
Cody Griffin from Queen
City. Yeah, that cornerback from Queen City. Yeah,
Cody Griffin, that quarterback.
Corner. I'm sorry. Corner.
I agree with that.
Free safety from Houston, Josh Rowe.
Okay, good stuff.
He's another good one. That's another good pick.
Josh Rowe definitely a close second. Another former teammate of mine.
Our Frank Stackhouse. Frank Stackhouse is leading all rookie defensive linemen and tackles for loss, and sacks.
That's pretty good. What about O-line of the year?
This is hard. This is hard to do though.
It is. But it's gonna make some great conversation.
It is.
So actually I skipped one. Special teams member of the year. I bolt on this one, but go ahead.
Yeah, Giovanni Bolt,
hands down.
You know what? Yeah. I forgot about him. I forget about him. Yeah,
he probably could be MVP too.
I do want to give an honorable mention to Florida's Justice Blackwell, the rookie, who has done pretty well for himself despite what the man himself may say. But I don't think he's going to win the award, but he's definitely deserves an honorable mention.
Gotcha. All right, so what about O-line of the year, which is something that I added? Who's got the best O-line?
Mexico City.
What? You talking about contract players or just in general?
I think she just means in general.
Who didn't get sacked as much as a quarterback this season?
Mexico's Matt Wilson. Well, I don't know if he has any contract offensive linemen though.
They don't. They don't have.
Well, I guess that would make a difference.
I mean, we got two.
I got four.
Here, let me say this. Let me retract. Matt Wilson is the least sacked quarterback in the entire SFL. He's been sacked 11 times.
Mm-hmm.
Up until before last week, Ashley was the least sacked quarterback, but due to my horrific play calling in the red zone, she got sacked 3 times in the red zone last week. That was my fault. That was bad game plan. I should have saw that coming. I didn't, and as a result, she got sacked 3 times. So now she's the second least sacked quarterback in the SFL. So if you want to just go by offensive linemen in general, the obvious answer is Mexico City. If you want to go by a team with contract offensive linemen, I'm gonna go with my home squad, Scorpions.
I think that has a lot to do, Eddie. That has a lot to do with Mexico City's passing game. So
because the ball is gone, dog.
Yeah, they don't hold on to the ball.
They don't hold it.
I can't give that O-line to them because they don't hold on to the ball.
Okay, man, hold on. You can't just contribute an offensive line's capability to just the pass game. You're just gonna ignore what Ray Bentley and Phoenix Jones have done. And that's not all on Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley. You've got to give credit to their offensive line for the holes they create too.
Oh, we do. I mean, hey, I'm playing this week. Trust me, I know.
If you give it to an offensive line that's all generics, or if you give it to them that's all contract. Right. I think that's the.
Ashley, you started a riot here.
Well, good.
No, but I see. I mean, I understand Aaron's point too.
Yeah, exactly. Because you do have to create those holes as a running back to be able to be
So are we including non-contract offensive lines?
I mean, to be fair, to be absolutely fair, I don't think we should because people sign up to be an offensive lineman. You know, that's what they try. If they decide to do, we already don't give them enough credit on the field. We don't even keep track of their stats.
Exactly.
I want to know how many times you done had to flip your hourglass. That's what I want to know.
4. It's 30 minutes. Bro. All right. Best front office staff. Quickly. Queen City.
Yeah. What they have done in the turnaround of that team has to go to Queen City.
It is very impressive.
Their general manager, as well as what they do with social media.
Mm-hmm. Best representation in chat by a team in
Florida.
like game day chat.
I'm going LSG. I might be a homer, but we go hard.
It ain't Houston. We don't chat at all.
We go hard. Wait, are you talking about in game chat or in
game
chat?
chat?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, game chat.
Yeah, we don't really do too much in gen chat, but in game chat,
I thought you were talking about gen chat.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We go hard in game chat. We go hard in game chat. Okay. I know I do. I be letting all my emotions.
Yeah, you be in there. Be talking to yourself sometimes.
I be talking about the AI like crazy. Cam hates that. Cam hates that, boy.
Eddie, Aaron, who do y'all think has a?
I'm still gonna stick to Florida.
Florida, gotcha. And Eddie.
Florida is you right. They are true thick up in that.
They are.
If I was to pick someone other than LSG, it would be Florida. But I still say we rep in LSG in that game chat.
I agree. Atlanta does a great job of that too. Speaking of
Atlanta's really good too.
That's who I was.
Atlanta's pretty.
That's what I was going
right.
to pick. I was going to say Atlanta because they were
right. I forgot about
always loud in the game.
All the cars and all of that. Yeah.
Good old Siege Falco.
That's right. Good old Siege. All right. So Richard Pratchett Broadcaster of the Year Award.
Josh Zirkle.
Josh has been doing amazing.
Has Tyler got that award yet?
No.
Tyler does bring the heat.
He does a great job too.
He does. I would lean towards Tyler. Tyler brings the smoke, and you know, I mean everybody brings the smoke. Everybody does a phenomenal job, but I would go Tyler there.
I would go Demond Simmons.
I'll tell you why I say Josh Zirkle.
You would.
Josh does something that most broadcasters don't do. He as a color commentator does an excellent job of telling the audience why something is happening. Everyone in that hoops and hollers and great play and blah 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 and feeds you stats and all that, some more than others. But Josh is one of the few people, and when I say few, I'm talking 3 or less, who actually go in there and tell you why so and so got beat, or why that run play worked, or why what defense the team is in, what offense the team is in. Most guys don't do that. Most guys don't even know what it is. They just calling it, and it's no fault of them because everyone hasn't played football. But Josh has a lot of knowledge, and I would love to see that dude call the championship game with Cam.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, what about?
I say Demond.
But Tyler is good too. I like Tyler's energy, and he also feeds you a lot of stats too.
Okay.
Whatever.
Demond, you would say you?
I would say Demond Simmons. I think that guy's pretty good at broadcasting, man. You know what? I say something else. We got a lot of good people, but I also like Demond. Yeah, that's my dude. But as much flack as Andy gets, broadcaster. Andy is. He is. Not taking anything from those other guys. Yeah, those guys are great too.
Demond, but me.
Mr. Hollywood Boulevard. That's right. Don't forget about me.
Put it on the board.
Exactly. Come on now.
Statistician of the year or season, I should say.
Justin Reside. Next.
Justin Reside. Yep. Next question. Next question.
That boy has been on. He has been on just about every game I've called this season.
He does like 3-4 stat games a week.
I love it. He told me he was gonna come in and make a difference when he was on my show last, and that's exactly what he did. I love it. Best moment of the year so far.
Houston's blocked field goal turned into an offensive lineman scoop and score.
Ooh, nice one. I forgot about that.
Memorable.
That sticks key in my mind because I was on the call for that game. It's like, how do you score that?
Yeah, I you did say that. I do remember hearing you say, "How do you score that?" Like, do you give that to the offensive lineman as he scored a touchdown, or do you give it to the kicker, the placeholder? Who do you give that score to?
I actually forgot about that one too. But the one I had came up with was the fumble recovery. What's the running back name for Jackson?
Jared Willis.
Jared Willis.
Jared Willis.
Yeah, Jared Willis. They were playing Baltimore, and he fumbled it. And somebody from Baltimore picked it up and ran to the house with it like 30, 40 yards. And I forget who that guy was.
That unlike the most recent plays of the week, too?
I think it was.
I think that was the turning point.
It was, because Jacksonville was only down 7 at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure was.
Like Aaron's moment.
Yeah. Very good stuff. Lastly, we're going to discuss Coach of the Year.
Chris Komasek. And how he's been able to turn around that Queen City squad.
Yeah.
Eddie Gage.
You can't deny it.
Yeah.
I'm going Eddie Gage.
Yeah, I think Komasek has done a good job, but I have to go with Gage as in top 3 in defense, and that offense is just it has an artistry of like watching Michael Jordan play ball.
Come on, man, slow down.
I don't listen.
Slow down, bro.
I don't want to gas either Ashley or Eddie up.
Nah, it's not. I look. I know where Eddie went in season 14. Eddie, I'm not gonna say he struggled with the offense, but
I sucked.
Yeah,
he was a wreck. He was a wreck. He said, "Man, I got headaches over here trying to figure this offense out and stuff like that."
Actually, season 15.
I would give Eddie a little nugget every here and now and then or whatever, and he took it. And he did the work with it, and that's why I say, that's just me personally. Watching your offense, it's beautiful. And I told that to you, and I truly feel that about your offense is that it has an art of its own.
And not only that, he's got a way of sneaking in these plays for some, like he can, even the best teams. I feel like he plays the best teams the best, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like what you all did in the team you played last season in the playoffs is escaping me. But what y'all did,
Mexico City.
Yes, what y'all did last year in the playoffs when virtually nobody expected y'all to win that game. You came in and you swooped in and you showed. That's when I really opened my eyes and like, dang, this dude done figured something out. And so it's like, I feel like it's going to come. There are maybe 2 teams that can stop Baltimore, and I feel like you guys are one of them.
Well, it's very commendable. I must agree with everybody, and it's not because you're my coach, but I could go with. I definitely want to give my nod to you in comparison with Chris Komasek, even though he did turn that whole Queen City situation around, because they were bad. They were bad for about 2 seasons. And then when he came over there, it's like they're saving grace. But being on your team and actually watching the team grow from the time you got it all the way up until now, how we progressively get better. It's not like a decreasing thing. Every year we win one or 2 more games. We throw 1 or 2 less interceptions. We capitalize off a few more turnovers until eventually I think we're going to become one of those top tier teams. If we're not revered as one already, we're going to become one of those top tier teams like the Baltimore Vultures, like the Denver Nightwings. Well, the championship caliber teams like that. So yeah, I got to give it to you, man, because you've definitely helped turn us around as well. So, but you okay?
Marie.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
I didn't know you was walking behind me doing that.
Yes.
No one saw you.
But sorry. Oh man. Well, guys,
And you know what? And if I can interject for just a moment, that's for me. That's part of the reason. You know what I mean? The emotion displayed is part of the reason why that's my vote. You know what I mean? Because it's like we talked earlier about how I feel like not Fort Worth, the other team, Toro, the Tulsa Desperados. We talked earlier about how I felt that something's going on and how they were disconnected in some way. Well, with Eddie, it's the exact opposite. You know, Eddie is involved sometimes to a fault with the SFL. And he puts so much blood, sweat, and tears to it that literally sometimes you can see the blood, sweat, and tears. And that's how you know it's real. And I appreciate the passion and it, you know, and it shows through. And you know, that's one of the reasons, you know, for that very same reason. Some people look at that in a different way, but for me, like, nobody wants to be in a team that doesn't care whether they win or lose. You know what I mean? For me at least, I want emotion when my team wins. I want emotion when my team loses, because emotion is life. And if you don't have that emotion, then you're dead inside. And so for me, that just shows how much he cares about the organization, and that's why he's coach of the year.
All right. Phenomenal job, gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join me tonight. I really appreciate all of you. Special thanks to all of my viewers that decided to come in and tune in or turn on that radio button again. I really appreciate all of this. I'm going to give everybody the last word before I throw it off, before I sign off. So we're going to start with you first. Aaron, any last words?
Nah, not really.
No Fort Worth, something.
I've already said everything that needs to be said. Okay.
I love you, Aaron. Thank you. What about you, Bo?
It's been a pleasure. I love being on the show all the time. I definitely appreciate it. Anytime I'm available, I'm here. You know, everybody, was a great chance for me to get to chop it up with Eddie and Damon. And Aaron, it's nice to meet you, and it'll be nice to beat you in game 12.
A day.
You say this after you've already beaten us once this season, but I see how it is.
All right. And Damon.
Oh man. Houston, what it do? Just shout out to the Hyenas. Also, I just received a message from Evan Lacey, and he's basically asked me a question: do I have family members down in Port Arthur, Texas? And which I do. My name is French. Simeon is a French name, and basically they're scattered all over Louisiana and Southeast Texas, and the name is spelled 3 different ways. No matter how you spell it, we're all related. And the reason why the name is spelled 3 different ways is because back in the 1700s, when the French settlers came over to the U.S., they didn't marry white people, but they married Indians and blacks. Okay? So what they did is they changed their names certain ways so that they couldn't be traced or found or whatever as they were being, chased and looked for. So he just sent me that message. So I'm excited to just reach out to him, say, "What's up, cousin?" So yeah, I'm gonna hit him up here in just a minute, and I'm always excited about meeting new people, man. And I meant to speak with him at the convention. I saw him, but then when I looked back, he was gone. He and his wife was there at the convention representing their son and so forth. And I couldn't get a chance to speak with him like I wanted to, but I will most definitely be having a conversation with him here shortly.
You should. Evan, Van is an absolutely amazing person, and his sister, I met his sister and his wife, and that was, they're absolutely great. But yeah, do that and let us know what happens. All right.
Hey, Ashley, that reminds me. I know I spoke already, but I definitely didn't want to forget to give my team a shout out. I was so busy trash talking with Fort Worth. But shout out to the Lone Star Glory, man. I love my team. It's so wonderful to be on a team with such a supportive people. Mm-hmm. And you know, we chat in our team chat. It's every day we chatting like, you know, we're family, and it means so much to me. So I definitely appreciate them. Shout out to Charles on creating that atmosphere, and then Yogi Bar, coordinator, as well as Albert Begin. Albert has done so much since coming over from QC. Me and him talk a lot, and you know, he's definitely helping me develop my players. So shout out to everybody on the Lone Star squad as well.
Yeah, Yogi Bar, I got a spot for you.
Yogi, don't listen to him, Yogi. Don't listen to him.
You know the funny thing is that Yogi and I connect at the conventions because I'm completely deaf in my left ear, and Yogi is completely deaf in his right ear. So when we were at the convention, we were standing. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, yo, I heard your
y'all stand by side by side. Y'all straight."
We were side by side. We were straight. You know, so I was like, "Man, it's cool. I ain't got to come on." So I don't know if you remember, Ashley. You interviewed me once, and I stated that I was deaf in one of my ears or something like that. And he was like, "Oh man, I got to meet this guy." So you know, at the convention, he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, what's up? One ear bandit." You know, I'm like,
"Oh wow, no."
I'll if you hear me.
Exactly.
I can't both y'all.
But yeah, man, he and I we chuckled all weekend long at the convention, man, and he even gave me his gamer tag, but I haven't been able to get on the Xbox One and game with him because shoot, I've been game planning all week, you know, through
and with Baby DJ, I know, trust me, I get it. It's handful right there.
He's something else, but yeah, that's all I have.
Gotcha. What about you, Eddie?
Man, y'all know what it is, man. We over here in Arizona. First of all, thank you for, you know, allowing us all to come on and use your platform to speak on the SFL. You know, we don't have as much content as we used to have. So when content is out there, I think we as SFL, as fans of the league, all, you know, appreciate the content that we do get. You know, it used to be damn near 7 days a week, but you know, do some other things in life with everybody. But I just want to show you how much I appreciate you for continuing to do what you do. I told you to take some damn time off someday and, you know, give yourself a break, but you continue to push this stuff out, and I appreciate you for it. And Arizona, you know, y'all know what it is. I love y'all, man. We like you said, we slowly improving, and we trying to get places, man. But speaking of coaches, I just want to say we can't forget about the job that Baltimore is doing. I mean, despite who they've played, they got 2 Hall of Fame coaches, one on offense, one on defense. And like you guys were saying, it's so much easier when you have one that can dedicate themselves to each side of the ball. And with them able to do that, they can spend more time getting everything right. And I can't wait for that Queen City Baltimore game. But yeah, I mean, I want to give them some love as well. But you can't forget about Chris and the job he's done turning that Queen City franchise around. Arizona, I love every last one of y'all. And I thank y'all for sticking with me despite when we sucked in 14. We was damn near sucking in 15. We started turning things around in 16, and here we are in 17. We division champions. But we're not done, y'all. I'm trying to take us places, and we got a tall task with some great teams ahead of us. And we just see where it goes, man. I just thank y'all for sticking around through the process because, like someone said earlier, it's a lot easier when your players stick around because you have to develop somebody else, you know. And when your players stick around, you have time to develop them. It makes, you know, game planning and coaching that much easier. For the guys that's on DC, you guys got a great offensive coordinator over there, one of the better ones in the league. I encourage y'all to stick that out because y'all got some tough losses, and it's only a matter of time before they get that thing turned around. So that's pretty much all I got.
All right. Well, again, thank y'all so much for being on the show. And I'm looking forward. And okay, back up for a second. I will take a break. Once this is episode 182. So once I get to episode 200, I plan on taking a little break, you know, a little hiatus for a minute. I won't be gone too long because I know how people are. Oh my God, she quit. No, it's not that. I'm just taking a break. I've been doing this show every week since December 28th of 2018. Every week. I think I only missed maybe a couple weeks out of this entire time.
Yeah.
So, but I promise you, I will get a break. But I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. And for Eddie, Bo, Damon, and Aaron, and of course, myself, AJ Stryker, see y'all very soon.
Peace.